Hey guys, we're back with the new Sub-Compact 18-volt rigid multi-material cutter. I'm going to go over my experience in getting a return on this model, talk a little bit about the older video, and also show you some things that I learned while going through this experience. This is a follow-up video to our Ridgid Sub-Compact 18-volt multi-material cutter. If you have not watched our previous video, I'd highly suggest you go back. I go through this tool a little bit more. There are some things that I need to update from that video that I've learned, but in that video we ran this cutting metal the wrong way, backwards, and tightened this arbor bolt up so tight that I couldn't get it out. It ended up with it stripping eventually, even with locking pliers. I was unable to get anything to move. So I was very honest, took the tool back, said, hey, here's what happened. They said that shouldn't happen. Here's a new tool. You know, try not to make the same mistake. We won't make the same mistake. We're going to do that again to see if that's actually what happened, but we're going to do it at the end after we test everything so that you'll know if you accidentally cut something in reverse, is that going to lock this tool up and render it basically useless. In the last video, I did mess up and say it was 0 to 1900 RPMs. I put an edit on the bottom of the screen. I want to make sure you know this is 0 to 19,000 RPM. So this tool is flying. I bagged on this tool a little bit because the battery was going to hit if you're cutting long distances. In messing with the tool, found out that the head rotates. That was a huge miss by me, and this head rotating is going to allow you to get the tool in the position that you want to get it to for cutting different materials. That's a big deal, and I totally missed that one. Second, I also found out that this is a 7/16 inch arbor. And the reason why Ridgid put this in there is because if you walk into your larger Home Depots, you're gonna find the Dremel brand 3-inch cutting discs with a 7/16 inch arbor. You're gonna have a hard time finding them in other brands outside of the Home Depot. There's a possibility here in talking to some people around the internet that seem to know what's happening that you can replace this with a 3/8 inch arbor, no issue. So if you wanted to go out and get a different arbor for this and use different blades, no issue. It might actually be available sometime in the future. I don't know. We are gonna go out, cut some tile. This is not porcelain, this is ceramic. It's gonna cut a lot easier than what you might use. I also need to make a belt box for my UTV, so I'm going to use this Sunix box here and just cut some things out, do a little plastic cutting. Then we're going to go back and cut metal the correct way, and then we're going to do it the incorrect way and see what happens with this arbor bolt. Stick with us. I'm going to catch all my steps here just in case something does go wrong. First thing that I want to do is lower this guard or guide. I do not want it to drag, but I want it to just get through enough that we're not dealing with any of the bumps on the bottom. Apologize about the noise outside. This arbor bolt does have a direction on it so you can tighten and loosen it. No issue. So I followed that last time. That was not the issue. Didn't tighten it too crazily, right? The directions say to have this so it's just cutting below the line that you're cutting. I find that it's gonna hop in that direction. Now for the camera, I'm gonna cut left-handed. We're gonna try to cut a semi-straight line across this tile, although that's not straight. Let's take a look at it. We're gonna make sure that we are in forward. Check that again, forward. Seem a little odd around here. We're gonna go with it. I dislike that jump forward a lot. So I'm gonna lower this down a little bit. We're gonna go all the way. Let that thing rub. That is one complaint that I have with this, being inexperienced with it, is you do get a jump. So if you're buying this the first time, do some testing. Doesn't help that I'm going left-handed. Let me fly across here for you. You're not going to see everything here, but I'm just going to try to take this across and see how I do. Right-handed, little bit easier. It does cut well. If you were just notching, no issue. It is fast, definitely works well. There is a good amount of dust that's coming out. I'm assuming you could do a little cut dropping down. Let's try it. Plunge cutting, no issue. Other than dust. Cuts well with tile. No issue. I like to see that. Of course, that's not a lot of pressure. So here, making a belt carrier, I have to follow this down, which is going to get interesting. So I'm going to hit different places. I'm just going to see how it works, get it very, very rough at this point and see what happens. Still in forward. Definitely not skilled at this, but we're going to give her a go. Uh-oh. Looks like those bottom pieces here are molded to it. So this might not work out like we expected anyway. I'll work on that later. I'm gonna dive in and grab some metal and be right back. Same metal that we had last time. totally different experience with the arbor bolt at this point. Same tightness that I did last time, still in forward. So we're going to just take a cut of this, go slow. No issue, works like a charm. One more. That guard going over that little hump isn't too happy. At this point, just a test. Same tightness as it was before. Here we go. I'm gonna make a mistake that some people here might do, just like I did before. It's in reverse. This cut well last time, wrong, but here's where the fun went down. This didn't tighten up at all. So, goes to show you, you have a 1 of 1 experience, sample size of 1, and we had no issue with this one. I'm gonna just go back, same incorrect direction, and push it a little bit more and see what happens. Nothing. Whatever happened last time was definitely a bad experience. Don't know what it was, but hopefully this time I proved to you that whatever issue it was definitely a one-off. It's nice to know that that mistake last time that I made, that I think a lot of other people might make on accident, is not going to cost you the tool. And it also shows that sometimes, I guess, reviewers get something that might have a one-off issue and you move on. At this point, this didn't cost me anything but an extra trip to the store, and I'm pretty happy with it. Well, I need a few more things to really dive in and cut. I can see where cutting plastic with this would be easy once you get used to it and once you get used to how things move around. I'm not. I don't have the Milwaukee version of this. This just isn't my forte, so you're going to see me fumbling and bumbling through this, and feel free to make fun of me. That's definitely not what I do with something this size. I still go back to, it's neat to have, but is this getting me any further or closer to something better than an angle grinder? And I guess to me, plastic, maybe. Hard to say, you know, vinyl siding, maybe, but when you have the ups and downs, I'm not really sure with this guard. Maybe you remove it. Let me know what you guys do with that. I'd be very curious. Tile wise, I could see where some tile guys would want to do this, but they might use their wet saw just to get in there, but maybe there's certain situations where it would work really well. Metal, it works. I don't think I would go to this to do any of the cuts that I was doing. Maybe if you were HVAC and just had the little stuff in tin, this is maybe the way to go. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know. I don't see those guys using this either. So I'm super curious if you have it, what you use it for. And beyond that, let me know what you think of the last problem. And I'm happy to say we got out of that problem without any issues, and full support from Ridgid and the Home Depot. So greatly appreciate that. Thanks for sticking with me through this, guys. I always like to follow up on something that didn't go exactly how it was supposed to. And in this case, I'm happy to say the tool is just fine. It was probably me. So, as always, Give us a like if you would. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for your time. Have a wonderful day.